Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. Per Hitro, they talk about the jungle justice wey happen for Uromi few days ago. He say federal government and traditional rulers and the Edo State governor Monday Okpebholo, they need to come together, make dem talk how dem go take solve the problem wey Fulani herdsmen carry come Edo State. He say crime don increase for Edo State. He dey read open letter to the Edo State governor Monday Okpebholo. Make I leave you, make you hear from Per Hitro.
See, these are the things that is happening in Edo State. And now, all I expect to do, this is not an insult. You see, Oba of Benin remains the biggest in Edo State. The second, need, as a matter of urgency, call on all traditional council meeting immediately, including those in the north, those in the central in Edo, for an emergency meeting where they will now decide and take decisive measure that will be recommended to Abuja direct. There's nobody about Benin cannot see in Nigeria. It is one is so influential that it can see everybody. So we must not be quiet as traditional rulers. Because when these people are coming to campaign, they come to seek your blessings in the palace. They go to Oba of Benin, they go to Enojo of Uromi, they go to Ugbo, they go to Irwa, they go to Ubiaja. So you people are not left out in this blame. Proactive measure has to be taking place. If Mona call Okpebholo, make it come up for Kaduna, make it come Benin, come face in Wahala. You now dismiss the vigilante director. Did you allow them to become a vigilante before that time? You did it with the power of your mama, of your papa for Abuja. Obaseki set up these structures down. Because you wanted to rig the election, you asked them to dismantle all. Egbetokun in Abuja help you to dismantle these people. People lie. At the end, it was dismantled. The land issue has started again in Benin now. So, when I say that the blame goes to the federal government, because the federal government refused to at least declare a state of emergency in those areas. Without removing the governor, who have not the support of removing any governor in any state of emergency. The federal government automatically becomes the people that give orders in the state. That does not mean that the state government has to be removed. And for a time frame. That is how it's done. Not doing it politically motivated. Right? Now, the state government did not cry enough and did not do nothing enough. He was there reading propaganda about the past government that has gone for almost a year now. Obaseki is gone. Even though heaven fought tomorrow, Obaseki cannot be a governor in Edo State any longer again. So it's time to start doing his job and forget about PDP issue. If you are lucky, you retain the position, no problem. But give us the dividends of government. Don't destroy the structure down because you hate him. Though you continue the project, but don't give kudos to yourself as if you are the one. I hear you saying this in that day as about Express Road. You were not the one that applied for it. He came late because it was APC that was PDP that was in power. They delayed it, but the suggestion and the application was filed by Obaseki. So Oga Okpebholo, I'm not against you. You see, I told what's his calling? Eddie Murphy brother, the vice governor. He was not supposed to follow you as a pair into government. You have destroyed your record now. All the work you did in Ovia for 8 years, we campaigned for you for Ovia for 8 years. You can't follow this man. Good afternoon, everybody. I won't be staying too long here today, but I just want to contribute my weight on these trending issues and on social medias and so many other platforms, TikTok and so on and so forth. You might all be surprised the reason why I kept myself muted for a very long time, you know. I do well or when I'm mutasi, understand. So I no longer want to be emphasizing myself so much for Nigerians, particularly we the Edo people, for nothing's sake. I come out anytime when I feel like or when I'm free, that I feel that I don't have much time or I don't have something that will take my time at that very problem, or I'm free to always contribute my few time. You see, I'm going to talk about these issues that is going on in Edo State. We've never got it so bad the way it is today, right? But unfortunately, there's an adage in Benin that anybody want to bite your back will not even think we will not even think whether it is smelling or has a bad odor. They will still bite you, you understand? My greatest shock is that some part of, how do I call it, some groups in Edo, especially in Edo, bloggers, have decided to be muted about this whole issue because they knew where the problem is coming from. Maybe it's coming from the side of the people that they supported, they imposed in us, in the society. And there's never a time I will not blame. If you see my title that I say, look, everything here, none of them will go out of this blame. The federal government has this blame. The state has its blame. The local government has its blame. The traditional rulers has their blame. We'll be hearing of these things for a very long time. Though we have a lot of cases of kidnapping in various expressway out of Benin and into Benin, you know, but we've not got it so hard the way it is here today now. Now, there was an unfortunate incident that took place 4 or 5 days ago in Uromi, between the Ubi and Uromi Express, where, you know, unfortunately, I will not be a part of that Nyogo justice. Nobody has said they like what they did, what happened in Uromi. Okay, but as human, we need not to support an act like that. That one is known to everybody. Okay, but nevertheless, there's an adage that when you drive a goat or a sheep for a very long distance, he has no hideout, no place to go, and you drove him close to the wall and has no place to escape, then you will understand that the goat or the sheep can bite. That was exactly what took place in Uromi. And those stupid bloggers on social media, instead of them to wait to use their time, their valuable time to talk about the society that they live that is not conducive for them, that makes them to pass through the river, or the ocean or the sea in Libya to cross to Italy, to focus on the government especially, and to educate their people on how to able to put our country in the right track, on how to see a better future, that otherwise 6, 8, 10 million Nigerians that have left Nigeria today now will never come back. We never come back to Nigeria. This is the fact. But in the days back, I live in Italy. In the days back, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, Italy passed through the same situation we are passing now in Nigeria. And most of them who went outside went to New York in America, so went to Brazil, so went to Canada, so went to Japan, Australia, stuff like that, you know. They toy the ground and become somebody big in the country they went into. So who went into construction becomes one of the big estate owners now in New York. Those who went into, who studied very well and chose the line of politics have gone to the highest, to the Senate in America. Those who decide to be in medical field are one of the best doctors also too in America. Those who also follow the line of not straight line, those who are in the street, are the people who matters when it talks of illegality. It is in New York or in America today, right? But in everything they do, they become the best in every aspect they do. And some of them return back home after 30 years, 40 years, because the country that they left many years ago that was bad, they are now seeing prosperity in the country. They all came back to the country. But my fear is that most of us as is living in Nigeria today, we promise to come back in 2, 3, 4, 5 years time. Even those who relocated back to Nigeria with heavy degrees and investment, return back again and start from square one again in Europe, when they did not see anything like future over there. Now, let us not go too far from why I'm here. Why am I here? Of the sadly incident that took place 5 days ago in Uromi. Long before this time, we'll be hearing about this herdsmen going to farm, use our crop, use people's crop to feed their animals. Then when they see the woman in the farm, they lynch on that woman. Some they will make love with the woman. Some they will use sticks to destroy her life, not for her not to have baby again in her lifetime, you know. So through the anus and stuff like that. Sorry for the bad words I'm using, but these are facts. This has been going on for a very long time in the Nigerian society. And none of them has one day come out and say, look, let's put a stop to this whole mess. Let's assume that it was a Fulani man that was in power. But the Fulani man has left power now. This is a Yoruba man that even in his own state, Otribu is not from Lagos, we know that. Even from his own state, all those who go and Ondo and the rest are also facing the same calamity in Nigeria, right? Now, there's some people in Edo state has been complaining. So as the Ovia people, even some part of Owode were invaded by this Fulani herdsmen, right? Now, this complaint was, I think, was made known in the House, was made known also too in Senate. The one that I listened to was the one that was made known by Okoje some few months ago. Even Okoje even moved a motion the other day now that they should try to redeploy a military barrack to Eastern Central, but specifically Uromi or Ubiaj, I don't know. But let me tell you one thing. How many military barracks can we open in the whole Nigeria? That is a temporary resolving. It's temporarily resolving the issue, no permanent resolvement of that issue. Well, this is what you feel it was necessary for you to do right now. Now, secondly, I also heard about Oshomole even saying it categorically in the parliament, saying that Okpebholo cannot even be able to guarantee his own local government as a safe place as an existing governor or the present governor in Edo State. And the vice governor, what's his name? Idausa, the General Brother to Eddie, also came from, I think, Ovia. This is the area he performed very well those days in Ovia, And these are the two local areas, the governor's place and the vice governor's place are not a safe haven for anybody. So I don't want to play some videos that was given to me some days ago what happened in Ovia. Those who they massacre with the wooden house, for crying out loud. And these senators that we voted into power to create laws and make it effective to protect life and property, the governor we voted for, according to INEC, who they declared as a winner, cannot guarantee us safety. From the beginning, I kept quiet. I did not come out to engage him all this while like other people do engage him, because I felt it was just too fresh to start talking about development and infrastructure and stuff like that. But this man continues offending my patience every day by trying to reiterate the achievement of the past governor as his own achievement. But we kept quiet. Went to buildings that was not done by Obaseki and said nothing happened in education in Edo State. But your own governor in Lagos State said he copied from Edo State the operandum that we were using in Edo State. Now, as I said, I'm not here because of Okpebholo. I'm here for the safety and the security guidelines that I want to give you today to safeguard Edo State, right? And those stupid TikTokers, Facebook and YouTube, that always talk, and then I'll be Benin, and shall not be Benin. Now Benin come from Isha. Now you be Benin Oba. You are jealous of us because they killed Oba before. Now when they don't speak well, now be Benin. Benin will be Benin. Benin not reach 1 million. Benin not reach 2 million. But today, Abba Morirene, right? And I'm now seeing also too some bloggers saying it's Edo State, so that the Benin should not separate themselves from inside, that they should not look at it as if it's a Oromi issue. We will never take it as a Oromi issue. Because we are not fools, like some of your bloggers are fools. Okay, in this one hand, oh yes, Stena, it will follow the whole 4 arms in a few moments if you don't clean it off on time. The reason why this issue is raising alarm is because of the way the operation you took it, they brought daylight, and the foolish people were recording it outside to the world. And the whole videos is there on the wall. Anybody don't want to show it, and because of it's the rules and guidelines of Facebook and YouTube that will not allow you to show those raw videos. That was the biggest mistake you ever had done in your life. Those men and women that was slaughtered in Ovia in their camps, who came to apologize to us? How many of the northern governors came to apologize to Okpebholo in Edo State? No, because it's claimed to be herdsmen of Fulani, and Fulani are so many. You don't know this particular state that did it. But because this issue happened in Uromi Expressway, and they know that those people that did that in the Uromi people, so it's very open to say Edo. Now I ask you a question. The Hausa and the Fulanis that are ranting in the north, who are they calling? Did they call it some? No. They said Edo, Edo, Edo. And if you want to look at Edo properly, it is we, the Edo. If it doesn't mean that they give our name to the state, it does not mean that everybody there that plays there, they speak Edo like us. Okay. Ora speak Ora. I want to speak Auntie. But they speak their different languages in Benin, in Edo State, right? Okay. But the city is called Benin City. You understand? All right. That is the central. That is what we call Benin City. But we all that speak that language is called Edo people. Okay. But Edo State comprises of Esa and the rest. These are facts. Anytime I come to platform, I try to explain to people. They start telling me that, where are you from? I'll say, I'm from Edo. They'll say, I'm from Benin. Okay, you understand? So, I'm from Benin, but I'm a Edo man. Right, okay. So, why am I saying this thing today now? I want to advise all my brothers and sisters in Edo Central. I won't use that word Urum any longer because it does not call for. I will use Edo Central so that we know the particular areas we're talking about now. Right. The reason why we said that that was a very barbaric act is because we saw it. Anybody that see that kind of thing will condemn it by the whole, in total. Okay. But the fact is that, let's call a spade a spade. This thing could have been avoided, could have been prevented long ago when the crack came out in Nigeria as a whole, as a local. This is what we are facing in our territory. We need a redress. Neither Okpebholo, nor the Hausa, nor the 3 senators or whatever make this move to say, look, we need a reinforcement of policemen over there. They were just saying the condition in Edo is not bearable any longer. But there was no recommendations. There were no open letters. Then none of them tried to seek direct access to the president in Aso Rock. In multitude, we have about 6 representatives of E5 from Edo State, plus some of the traditional rulers and the state governor going there to say, look, Tinubu, this is what we want. We want to increase. You understand? Areas you need to even declare the emergency. You did not declare the emergency because you already know that you own the state. Whether we kill ourselves or not kill ourselves for 2027, Okpebholo will deliver it for you if the court does not give mandate to us when the Udaro. That was why you did not care about our life over there. And that was the reason why I said those who are responsible, those who need to be questioned about the lives, the property that was missed, that has been destroyed in Edo State, are the federal government, the state government, the local government chairmen, and the traditional rulers. None of them is taken out of it. Now, because I did not just try to, how do I call it? I'm not an hypocrite that just condemn the system and don't give recommendations. I write an open letter, a very big one. I will read it openly. There was an open letter that I wrote to the governor at that time. Governor Okpebholo. Okay, just hold on, because I want to be very, very fast in this my submission today. I just want to give out my points, and maybe we'll come back again. I wrote an open letter to Mr. Monday, Governor Godwin. I said Godwin. Governor Monday Okpebholo. An open letter was written by me to Monday some few days ago. Now, listen. This is not party or I'm not being sentimental. Okay. It was an open letter written. I will transmit this letter to platforms where he belongs to. Probably maybe you would have seen this letter and know exactly on how to reach people that we're able to give him good advice. It doesn't really mean that we have the best hands in government, and we don't expect to have the best hands in government. But all we needed in the government is those who listen to good advice. I said, dear Governor Monday Okpebholo, I'm writing to express my deep concern about the present issues plaguing our states, particularly in the areas of management and security. As a citizen, let me explain to you management. I was talking about these revenue collectors and how the way things were going on in the state. Okay, security, I was talking about the S-men and kidnapping and armed robbery that have increased in the country. As a citizen, those states, I am delighted by the lack of, disheartened, my glasses deceive me, disheartened by the lack of activity of the effectiveness of the governance and determination of the impact it has in our community. The absence of good management is evidence in the inefficient allocations of resources, inadequate infrastructures, and poor public service, e.g. revenue collections. This has resulted in unnecessary hardship for residents, hindering economic growth and development. I urge you to implement a more transparent and accountable system, ensuring that the resources are utilized ultimately and services are delivered efficiently. Moreover, the deteriorating security situation is alarming, Governor Okpebholo. Rising crime rates, inadequate law enforcement, and insufficient emergency response mechanism has created an environment of fear and insecurity. He implored you to strengthen the security measures, increase police presence, and improve emergency service to safeguard the well-being of our citizens. To address these pressing issues, I suggest the following. Conduct a comprehensive review of the state management structures and implement reform to ensure transparency and accountability. And I said, increase investment in security infrastructures, including surveillance system, emergency response facilities, and law enforcement personnel. Engage with local communities, soliciting feedback and suggestion to inform policy decisions and ensure that the needs of citizens are adequately addressed. I hope that you will take my concern seriously and intake meaningful reforms to improve the lives of our citizens. I look forward to see a tangible progress and positive changes in our state. Note, this write-up is not politically motivated or personal attack. Sincerely, Parito. I wrote where I wrote this open letter, Ravenna, Italy, and my email address was the info@sazwa at yahoo.co.uk. That's what's in the email there. Then I gave some days gap. I came up again. This one was just a letter that I said, my message to the federal, state, and local government agency in Nigeria. Okay, I won't take much of your time. I just want to read this open letter that I wrote on Facebook, and I distributed it to some medias who I know watch my program sometimes. I said, the senseless killing of 16 Hausa Fulani young men in Uromi, Edo State, is heinous act that deserves unequivocal condemnation. This tragedy incident is a stark reminder of the government's failure to prioritize the security well-being of its citizens. Then I go further. The lack of proactive measure by the government to address the security challenges in the state has created an environment conducive to such atrocities. It is inexcusable that despite repeated warnings and concern, the government failed to take decisive action to prevent this massacre. Furthermore, the government's lack of understanding of state administrative management and his apparent unpreparedness to governance has contributed significantly to this tragedy. Leadership requires more than just occupying a position. Governor Okpebholo. Then I said, it demands vision, competitiveness, and a genuine commitment to the welfare of the people. In addition, we cannot ignore the role of traditional rulers in this tragedy. I've never excluded them. Never. As a custodian of the culture and traditions, they have the responsibility to promote peace, understanding, and harmony among their subjects. Their silence and the indications of face of growing tensions and violence are indications of duty. We also want to use this opportunity to caution the Fulani people. To caution the Fulani people. This is my message to the Fulani people. We also want to use this opportunity to caution the Fulani people to understand that nobody has a monopoly on violence, that this tragic incident should have served as a lesson to all that violence only leads to more violence and suffering. We urge them not to take the laws into their own hands or seek revenge, as this will only premeditate seconds of violence. Instead, we call on the Fulani people to work with the authorities to ensure that justice is served and that those responsible for these heinous acts are brought to book. We also urge them to engage in dialogue and reconciliation efforts with other communities to prevent such incidents in future. Moreover, we demand that the government takes immediate actions to address the root cause of this tragedy. These include, this is my suggestion, right? These include creating a law that prohibits the movement of livestock from one state to another without the state or the government permission and the specified time frame. 2, establishing a national livestock management agency to regulate and monitor the movement of livestock across the country. 3, providing adequate compensation to those families of the victims, supporting them in their times of grief. Furthermore, we condemn the government's long-standing failure to take strong actions against the preparators of these Fulani individuals. The government indications has emboldened those preparators to create a culture of impunity. We demand that the government takes immediate and decisive actions to bring these perpetrators to justice and to prevent future attacks. These include, this is what we recommend to the government, investigating and prosecuting all previous attacks. Not that this Romeo alone. We said, let me repeat that place again. Please, let me come back to where I am. Okay. Oh God, sorry. Let me go back again, please. Okay. I said, to address this issue, we suggest that the following: conduct a comprehensive review of the state management and structural implementing of the transparency and impunity. Increase investment in security infrastructures, including surveillance camera. I've said that, please. Okay, yes, okay, yes. No, sorry, to my reading. No, sorry. I went to the first one. We also want to use this opportunity to caution the Fulani. That's where I want. For instance, we call on the Fulani people to dialogue. I've said that. Okay. Then the recommendation I said is creating law that prohibits the movement of livestock and from one place to another or from one state to another. Establishing a national livestock management agency to regulate the movement of livestock across the country. Providing adequate compensations to those who are aggrieved. And the government's long-standing failure to take strong actions against these preparators has caused all this nonsense. Now we now say, look, investigate properly and bring to book all attacks and killing by some Fulani individuals. Then disarming all illegal Fulani militant group, providing adequate security and protection to all communities affected by this attack. We would like to extend our deepest condolence to the families of the victims of previous attack by the Fulani individuals. We stand in solidarity with you in our time and grief, in your time and grief of pains. May the souls of your loved ones rest in peace. To the family of the victim of the Aguta massacre and Enugu massacre, the Bere massacre, and all communities affected in Fulani violence, we all demand justice for you all. Okay, I don't want to go details about this again. These are the letters that I wrote of recent, But why am I coming here to speak to our people in Edo today now? I know that most of the fault is from the government, right? You see, the fear we were having, that most of us they were calling us coward when we were saying we did not justify what happened in Urumi. The part is that let's call a spade a spade. We can just make noise and go to our bed and sleep. You see, to see a Benin boy that want to sleep in the village these days is very rare. To see a really typical Unchima or Esakoma to sleep in the village these days is very rare. Okay. To see an Ishan boy who don't want to drive Lexus is very rare. They are all in Benin, floating in the hotels in Benin, doing Yahoo and the rest things they are doing to make ends meal. 89% of our youth don't believe in hard working any longer. When I mean hard working, I'm not saying that we don't have youth that do wedding, plumbing. No. Those days when we were going to school, we need to do daily job. Okay, to sustain ourselves. But the fact is that most of our youth do daily job 1,500 in a day. If they go and do it in downtown Oyogi, and the person is living in Ring Road or K1 Road, before he transports himself from Oyogi to the house and eat, he'll be less than 400 naira in his hand. It's just like somebody who did not go to any job that very day. For that simple reason, I urge everybody to look into this issue very well, because if you go to our villages, the Fulanis and the Hausas have majority of the youth doing the jobs there. And they occupy the village and they live in the village. So a state or a nation where there's no rules and regulations, where there's lack of presence of police, there is bound to be high rate of crimes in that area. Okay. Even when those who commit crime who know anybody can be released in one or two places. If you ask the policemen now, how many Fulani men and Hausa men who were arrested on these harassment issues, attacking the villages, farm destruction, cow rearing illegally in the country, that are saying detention, they will ask you, you will find out that no one single one is under detention again, you understand? So this time around, this fight is between us and the north. The west, that the southwest, southeast, should open their eyes very well and create a time frame to amend or to adjust all these recommendations that I gave. This livestock management system has to be created in these areas. We should not wait for the federal government. Anybody that use our life to play politics is a doom. And let me warn you guys, any senator or house of rep that is not doing well must not be honored in Edo State or to be received in the airport or call you a patron, chairman, because I see what happened to Senator Nada, who came for the Thanksgiving of our great Oba's mother Thanksgiving. They were all hailing, greeting him, to standing up to embrace him as if he win lottery. This was a man who was supposed to be put into a book to address us in many ways in our city. But nobody did it. Nobody did it. You understand? They were all there looking at him openly. Nothing happened. You understand? So I urge every Nigerian to open their eyes to know what is right and what is wrong. I'm coming, please, to give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Sorry, I went to attend to a baby that they left baby inside the room, you know. So we all should open our eyes and also start celebrating these senators and this House of Rep that come to Benin to become healers people. They become VIP to you. They are all a bunch of nonsense, you understand? So I also want to understand. I understand one thing that Kola, my brother Kola, God will bless you. I'm very, very sorry I didn't contact you when I was in Nigeria. I would have contacted you, but I was carried away with other things that I was doing. Please, if anybody need any assistance when the recall start, tell us. We will mobilize people for you. If you need any money to buy pure water, we will assist you in everything to recall that useless man back to Benin so that he will know what it means. You understand? Look at, they said anybody that is going to equity must go with a clean hand. You that was driven away from America. You understand? You come here to become a chairman for ethics in the Senate. You see, this is how Nigeria becomes where it is today. So, all those useless bloggers that are fighting in TikTok and Facebook, say, Esa na Bini, Bini no be Esa, na Bini na Esa bon Bini, na Bini bon Esa, will not be the same. There be mumu, there be this. You carry a royal father's picture, you put goat on his head, you do this because we are able to cross Libya and enter Germany and declare Aduro. You forgot that home is home. Irrespective of what it is, if our traditional rulers are not doing what is right, you can correct them with respect. But creating an image, mostly, I don't want to mention people know yourself. You understand? Trying to break Esa from Benin or break Benin from Esa is a child's play. Today now, all the black cats that we see in the north, they didn't write Esa. They didn't write Uromi. They wrote Edo, meaning that thing happened in Edo State. And some fools, I was told, some Benin fools, were going to go and show map to indicate to map the area where that thing happened. That is not Benin, that is Uromi. Mumu. Forgetting that, as I said before, if this hands, or your stainer, he stayed the whole 4 hands. The first thing to do as a normal human being is to condemn that act. Because it was not premeditated. It was out of annoyance, out of provocation, out of lack of government presence in our society. So people should not say, look, they did it well. No. But that does not mean we should not be proactive. Because these people, they behave like, you know how they behave. I don't want to downgrade anybody in social media or in the public. They hardly forget about all those things, you know, especially the Fulanis. They have no forgiveness of mind. If you remember what Buhari did to Dasuki, you will understand that Fulanis don't forgive anybody. Dasuki was the man that arrested Buhari when he was overthrown. And he came back to put him in jail for almost 8 years when he was the president. That's to tell you, So you people should be at lax. Okay, next time, if you want to revenge, please do it in a way people will be confused. Don't do it in a way that even a blind man can feel it and be shivering. It was too horrible in 2025. I don't want to see such thing again for my fellow brothers. But please, if more than call Okpebholo, make it come up for Kaduna, make it come Benin, come face in Wahala. You now dismiss the vigilante director. Did you allow them to become a vigilante before that time? You did it with the power of your mama, of your papa for Abuja. Obaseki set up these structures down. Because you wanted to rig the election, you asked them to dismantle all. Egbetokun in Abuja help you to dismantle these people. People lie. At the end, it was dismantled. The land issue has started again in Benin now. So, when I say that the blame goes to the federal government because the federal government refused to at least declare a state of emergency in those areas without removing the governor, because I'm not in support of removing any governor in any state of emergency. The federal government automatically becomes the people that give orders in the state. That does not mean that the state government has to be removed and for a time frame. That is how it's done. Not doing it politically motivated. Right? Now, the state government did not cry enough and did not do nothing enough. He was there reading propaganda about the past government that has gone for almost a year now. Obaseki is gone. Even though heaven fought tomorrow, Obaseki cannot be a governor that don't say any longer again. So it's time to start doing his job and forget about PDP issue. If you are lucky you retain the position, no problem. But give us the dividends of government. Don't destroy the structure down because you hate him. Though you continue the project, but don't give kudos to yourself as if you are the one. I hear you saying this in that day as about Express Road. You were not the one that applied for it. He came late because it was APC that was, PDP that was in power. They delayed it, but the suggestion and the application was filed by Obaseki. So, Oga Okpebholo, I'm not against you. You see, I told what is calling Eddie Murphy brother, the vice governor, he was not supposed to follow you as a pair into government. You have destroyed your record now. All the work you did in Ovia for 8 years, we campaigned for you for Ovia for 8 years. You can't follow this man that power, destroy everything. Now we now have 3 couples that collect revenue. The other Kabaka come out and said, the game over. This is the latest issue. Shaba come out, say you. That's what come out, say you. See, these are the things that is happening in Edo State. And now, all I expect to do, this is not an insult. You see, Oba of Benin remains the biggest in Edo State. The second, need, as a matter of urgency, call on all traditional council meeting immediately, including those in the north, those in the central in Edo, for an emergency meeting where they will now decide and take decisive measure that will be recommended to Abuja direct. There's nobody about Benin cannot see in Nigeria. It is one is so influential that it can see everybody. So we must not be quiet as traditional rulers. Because when these people are coming to campaign, they come to seek your blessings in the palace. They go to Oba of Benin, they go to Enojo of Uromi, they go to Ugubua, they go to Irwa, they go to Ubiaja. So you people are not left out in this blame. Proactive measure has to be taking place. If I've heard about 3 or 4 announcements made by 3 traditional rulers together, I would have excluded them. So please, sir, everybody in house has to be on board. We've lost enough youth. The one that died in Libya, we can't count it. Those who are mad in Italy here, we can't count it. Those who are frustrated in Germany, we can't count it. In France, see, half of the boys in France that came in 4 or 5 years ago are all carrying madness paper along in the street. That is the fact. If you like, you insult me for comment section later. I don't give a damn about it. You understand? So, the hard time you get to understand that you are in power in Edo State as of now, until the tribunal decide otherwise. So, stop campaigning or stop talking about Obaseki or who? PDP. Focus on what you have to do. This is your area. I'm not the one that said it, or somebody that said it, that you cannot access your own local government. He said it in the House of the Senate. So, Oga, it's that time. Call on all the traditional rulers in your state together. Why the Oba of Benin chairs it among all the traditional rulers? Because anybody say that it's Uromi problem, then you are a fool. This issue is a do problem, not Uromi problem. The Oba of Benin should call on all traditional rulers and question them. Give them a direct messages to them. When they ban Okuku the other day, did you see any of the notices in this and said they will not obey it? That means that the father has said so. You understand? You say, what happened to open grazing law? Can you be specified on what you mean by what happened to open grazing law? It didn't work out. That was why they were talking about Ruga. It did not work out. That's what they're talking about, Ruga. And Ruga, the way they brought it out in Nigeria, most states said they will not give land to Fulanis. Anybody who want to operate that system branch should buy a land and fence it round and take care of his cow. That is how it's being done in overseas and developed society. We are not living 1940 any longer anymore. We live in 2025. And we practicing the same system overseas. It's only a fool will tell you we are in Nigeria, we are not in abroad. Why copy their system? Then let Oba of Benin be ruling the whole state so that we'll use traditional method in doing everything. As far as Oba of Benin is not the one ruling the whole state, it's Okpebholo, then it should apply the rules and regulations of the country. The state has right to create a bylaw within the state. A state is sovereignty from the federal government. On a serious note, it's only when things go above the state, the federal government can intervene. So, Okpebholo can call his people, instead of moving around, trying to sweep out the PDP legacy in those states, he should come up with good ideas. The people are not even saying the data I'm saying, A time will come, nobody will go to farm again in Benin, Farm is operating in the door and the rest, all this while. One tuber of yam is 5,000 naira. The day they will not stop, the same these northerners that we are fighting today now, now make una chop onions, now make una chop tomatoes, tatase, but we conserve. Even pepper now is brought from the north. I was in Nigeria the other day. I bought sugar. If you don't buy sugar, this 5,000. They don't give you onions again, you understand? So please, I don't want to stay here too long, as I said before. I'm here to give a very straight message to my governor, Okpebholo, to please, again, that the traditional ruler should call on all the energies in this land, up to the one in the north, Edo North, shared by the Oba of Benin, Ewari the Great, to resolve this issue immediately. They give recommendation to the states while they make delegates to Abuja to resolve the issue once and for all. Transferring Barat to Uromi will not solve the problem. Is it clear?
Now we don't hear from Pa Hitro. Let us know what you think for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things where they happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you with this video, make you help us share them. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.